back, everyone, to the Two Pointers Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Trevor.
And this week is week 3 of Trivia Showdown. I'm sure you all enjoyed the extra long episode last week that we did that was almost 2 hours long with the guys from Jimmer Range Pod and Ryan Hammer, our good friend from TikTok. And saw as Carl Heiser somehow managed to get 80% of the questions we asked him correct and finished with a final score of 19. So let's see if either of these guys can reach a score of 19 and pass Carl on the leaderboard. My guess is no, but we will see.
That was very nice of you.
Sorry, guys, but it's if maybe you guys will get 8 out of these 10 questions right and then pick up 11 of the potential 14 answers on the bonus round to tie Carl. That's possible.
All right, I'll be nicer. It's not out of the realm of possibility. You're both Celtics fans, so I'm saying it now, as you'll see in the title. Two people who love the Celtics very dearly. That was my transition into introducing them. So if you're new here, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm just going to assume that it's not going to flip when I go to edit it. You're going to see on this side, Tyler James, NBA. We've had him on before. Tyler, how are you?
Mute first. I'm good. How are you guys?
Lovely, man. I'm glad to have you back. Super excited. Minute or two here. Tell us anything that's been going on with you or anything update-wise, and then obviously all the stuff as before will be under the description below.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as before. At Tyler James NBA on everything. Just right now, obviously my summer was full of the Celtics because they made that amazing run, a couple games short. Still doing the All-NBA stuff, though. Got All Ball Net, got Celtics Social, and kind of just combining them all right now. But I didn't have to – I think we were on last time we did a lot of draft talk. I really didn't get to do much draft because of the Celtics running so late in the year. But I'm back on that and back on the Celtics and back on everything else. So thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, great merch. Like I said, all that stuff will be linked right here below in the description. Feel free to check Tyler's stuff out. On the other side of the screen on YouTube, again, if you're listening, that was my plug. I'm going to do that multiple times today. If you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple, hit download. Come over to YouTube. Check out the other person here. Caleb, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Again, lovely. Super excited to do this, man.
Yeah. Last time I was on, we were about to start the finals. It was before game 1. Obviously, I'm a big Celtics fan too. I was the only one to pick against the Celtics. I hope I didn't jinx them. But I was just being realistic. The Warriors are a great team, but the future looks bright in Boston. Ever since then, I've obviously moved across the country. As you guys know, I moved from North Carolina to New Mexico, so it's quite the move. So I went from the East Coast to the desert, and but it's been good. Been out here for about 3 weeks and ready for football season.
A true transplant, Josh. I'm super excited to say that Kale's going to be our only person I know in New Mexico that roots for the Celtics. This will be good. Do you remember how many games you picked, just out of curiosity? Because I don't know if you were right or not. I remember looking at this the other day.
I picked the Warriors in 7.
Okay, so it was close. It was close. Not too pessimistic because it would go to 7. It would be fun, right? But all right, cool.
Tyler, did you pick the Warriors to win the finals?
No.
I didn't, and I do think they are a great team. But I honestly think, if I'm just going to get one word in here about it, the Celtics had a really tough road compared to the Warriors. The Warriors played Memphis without John Morant most of the time. I think they played maybe Denver without Murray. They played a bunch of teams that weren't really up to the level that the Celtics played. So that's my only thing I'm going to say. But I picked them to win, of course. Yep.
And another thing that I think I'd be remiss to not mention, Tyler, if I'm right, you're also a Carolina basketball fan in college ball?
Yeah, I was born in Carolina. But I didn't live there long, so Carolina roots, and I've lived in New England my whole life, so pretty much my whole life. But yes, huge Tar Heels fan, and won a lot of money on them this past offseason, or this past March Madness.
We love to hear it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny. We have 2 Tar Heel and Celtic fans competing here.
We should have thrown
some good people. Out. Yeah, you guys are good choices of people. That's fine. Good job.
Josh, I feel like the redheaded stepchild here, so you can go ahead and start if you'd like.
What do you mean?
I'm a Lakers fan and a State fan. I feel like a redheaded stepchild.
Oh, so sad. You have a franchise that's won 17 NBA championships. Go cry in a corner.
Hey, we have to get along. We're the hosts here. All right, let's roll. I'm excited.
You realize your team has almost as many championships as my team has years in franchise history?
Yes. Same with these two. It's not like I'm not alone in that boat, okay?
But they weren't complaining about whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, off the rails already. I'm excited. I love when we go off the rails a minute and 20 seconds in. That's great. All right, you ready to go through the format? Let's make sure people who are new here are aware of what we're doing, and then let's just, like I said, let's get right into it.
Okay, a reminder of how the game will work. This week's trivia is Boston Celtics trivia. We're doing a tribute to the late, great Bill Russell, who passed away about a week and a half ago. And so we're going to pay tribute to Bill Russell by having Boston Celtics trivia with these two guys on. The way the format of the game will work, there are 10 questions. 2 of the questions will be multiple choice. The other 8 will be free response. Each question is worth 1 point. After the 10 questions, there will be 1 bonus round question where both players will get 60 seconds to write as many possible answers to the statement as they can. It will have about 14 different answers. They will, as we proceed through each question, they will write down their answer after we ask it, and we will reveal in time, and we'll keep up with the score. Do you guys have any questions before we get started?
No, should be interesting.
Okay. To recap the Trivia Showdown season scores, I did us a big leaderboard of both weeks, Trevor. Carl Heiser's in the lead with 19 points. Nick Levere in second with 12. Alex Cervantes with 11. Ryan Hammer with 9. And Grayson Hill with 5.
Okay, as long as I beat Grayson.
All right. For those that don't know, Caleb and Josh and I and Grayson are all in a friend group, and that's funny that he wants to at least beat him.
What a bum.
Oh, a call out. I like
careful.
this. This is good. Grayson also made our trivia finale, and I think it was pretty difficult. So Grayson's not a big. He's a trivia maestro himself. He just didn't do too well on NBA history.
He's the boy. He's the boy. He's good.
NBA history was tough.
Be careful, Caleb. You don't want to come off cocky and then come in under 5 points.
Yeah, that would be tough.
I could see it happening.
That's why I'm not saying a word.
Tyler's like, nope.
Tyler's like,
I'm going to let my game talk for itself. I like
all
that.
right.
All right.
Well,
All
let's
right,
hop
Josh.
into it. We're going to go kind of just a basic Boston Celtics fan trivia question to kick it off. Question 1. What is the name of the Celtics mascot? What is the name of the Celtics mascot?
I love that they both wrote it down immediately because I told Josh before we recorded this, I said they will both get this question right. And I would like to say...
I probably wouldn't, but that's just, I don't pay that much attention.
That was a very quick lock-in, and I appreciate it for the sake of time. So if you both are locked in, give me a thumbs up, and we can go from there. That was so fast. Oh my God.
Trevor, who do you want to start with?
Let's start on my screen. Tyler's under you, so let's just go with Tyler, and we'll go back and forth from there.
Okay. Tyler, give us your answer.
Lucky.
Lucky.
Yes.
All right.
I love it.
Caleb?
Yeah, Lucky the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
He wrote out the full name. I like it.
You're both correct. The answer is Lucky.
All right. Josh, I'm not keeping
1
score.
point each.
So, Josh, the score is totally up to you.
Yeah. I'll give you marks throughout the podcast so you can make sure to flash it up on our YouTube version.
All right. No score update because they both got it right. So I'm going to go ahead and roll into question number 2. As Josh said earlier, this is a really cool tribute. We were going to actually do this anyway. I told these guys earlier. This was already scheduled and planned, and then, it was around the same day, really, but found out last Sunday. So unfortunately, Bill Russell did pass away. So this question is definitely in honor of him. What famous award was Bill Russell awarded or given, and what bonus point, non-basketball, and bonus point if you can name the year he was given the award? So what famous award in history, non-basketball, was he awarded, and bonus point for a year? You have to write them both. And while they're writing their answer down, actually, I think they're probably going to be done here shortly. So I'm going to save the Bill Russell facts for afterwards. I'll read one now while they're writing. Bill Russell, fun fact, never lost a winner-take-all game. He is 10-0 in Game 7s and 1-0, in Game 5 of first-round series. So, ultimate winner, as obviously who's won 11 championships. So that's my first fact. My other fact is Bill Russell also hosted Saturday Night Live in 1979. I thought that was probably one of the more fascinating things. He hosted
Who was
one
the
of the
Saturday
most
Night
famous
Live cast at the time?
in 79.
Eddie Murphy in 79?
Maybe. I think he might be 81. I have to look
Roughly.
it up. It's around. It fit the time period. That'd be really funny to see those two on a stage together because they're both funny people. I mean, Bill Russell's a lot funnier than people I think realize. So
I know in some of those, it was either late 70s or early 80s that Eddie Murphy really carried the show. He was the talent.
All right. Do we have a lock in? It looks like we might. All right. Caleb, yeah, think we're good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with you first. It's your my question. So
I totally guessed on the year, but I'm pretty sure it was the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
okay, and
Okay.
then what year did you have written down?
2018.
Cool. All right, Tyler.
I did not get it. I got it wrong. I didn't have an answer.
Oh, okay. All right. The answer is the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the Caleb gets a point. Unfortunately, he won't get a bonus point though because it was 2011. President Barack Obama awarded it in his second to last year in office, and well deserved. Should have happened probably for a long time before that, based on all the stuff that Bill Russell
Honestly,
did.
President Obama's second to last year of his first term.
First term. Thank you.
I should have known it wasn't. I should have known it wasn't Donald Trump that gave it. So
maybe not.
I should have known my timeline.
But 2018 wasn't. I mean, you were in the same realm. But the Bill Russell Finals MVP award, also reading the last two facts I had here, is given to the most outstanding player in the finals each year, of course, and the award was named after him in 2009. And then this one kind of blew my mind. Bill Russell was one of only 4 players to win an NCAA championship and an NBA championship in back-to-back years. So I guess either junior or senior season and obviously rookie year. He joined Henry Bibby, Magic Johnson, and Billy Thompson. So, again, ultimate winner everywhere he went. He has technically 13 rings if you count the 2 at San Francisco. No idea how many he has in high school. I did not write that down, but I would assume it's at least one. It's Bill Russell we're talking about. So, but shout out to the late, great man. We are so sad to hear that for the NBA community. So, I just wanted to make sure he got his due respect there, especially with question number 2. So, all right, Josh, score update.
Caleb 2, Tyler 1.
All right.
I haven't been doing that. Yeah.
Ready for your next question.
All right, let's get into question number 3. Which Boston Celtics head coach has the best winning percentage in franchise history? Which Boston Celtics head coach has the best winning percentage in franchise history?
I'm so fascinated how fast they're writing these down because I think through question 3 of the last 2 episodes that neither episode people wrote that quickly. I think it took a little while for people to kind of, unless Carl got it every now and then, because Carl had to write something quickly. He had 19 points, which, by the way, if I can remember, I'm gonna put a little ticker across the bottom when you're reading it of all the score updates, just so there's every now and then people can be reminded of what they're having to go up against. So, or I guess technically y'all won't see it till afterwards, but you know what I mean. So, it sounds like we might have a locked-in answer, Josh. Very quickly.
Have you guys both have an answer written down?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to Tyler first. Tyler, what is your answer?
Casey Jones.
Okay.
Casey Jones. All right, over to Caleb. Caleb, answer.
Casey Jones.
Casey Jones.
All right.
The correct answer is Casey Jones. Yeah.
Wow.
Casey Jones in his years with the Larry Bird, Kevin McHale teams would go on to have the best winning percentage. Franchise history might surprise some that it was not Great Red Auerbach, but Casey Jones in the 1980s. So scores 3-2.
We're flying through this.
Back over to Trevor. So far, I think we definitely front-loaded easier questions.
Oh, God.
That's not like a warning or anything, but I will say it's a slight warning. It's like, hey, just so you know, these are getting harder. We think.
Those are easy.
Yeah, those you got. Y'all all got. You're what 3-2, right? I mean, we're not.
Caleb,
not like,
you got all of them right.
Guys, we're having passing
kinda
grades so
tricky.
far. This is impressive. I mean, some people had 0 through this point. Okay,
Grayson.
He'll watch this. He'll laugh. All right. Question number 4. The Celtics were the first NBA franchise to break the color barrier in the NBA, or draft an African American player. What was the name of that player? And this one is multiple choice. You get some choices here. Is it A, Chuck Cooper, B, Charles Ed McCauley, C, Bill Russell, or D, Cliff Hagan? Is it A, Chuck Cooper, B, Charles Ed McCauley, C, Bill Russell, or D, Cliff Hagan? First African-American player drafted. Again, Josh, these dudes are flying through these answers.
Yeah.
No filler needed. We're going to make up for the hour and a half last week. People are going to see the timestamp and go, why was this a 40-minute episode? I'm like, deal with it.
They're moving right now.
Hey, that's good. That's good. That means they're confident. That's what we want. We don't want anybody here. Well, I mean, I do for the sake of your reactions. I would love you guys to struggle. Don't get me wrong. Be great content. But you're not so far. So, all right. Are we ready? Do we have a confirmed answer? It looks like we do. It looks like both of you are ready. All right. I think we're on Caleb. Caleb next.
It is A, Chuck Cooper.
Okay. Tyler?
Yep. Oh,
A. Chuck Cooper as well. Got it. Awesome. Well, Josh, I think we suck at making trivia questions after 3 weeks. These guys are correct. It is Chuck Cooper. We thought the other 3 answer choices were really, really great, answers to get you off the scent a little bit because, Bill Russell and Ed McCauley and Cliff Hagan were very early on in Celtics history. So great job there, guys. Good grief, Josh. We suck at this. It's 4-3, which, I mean,
It's
that
okay.
one was a little tough because
Yeah.
Bill Russell, I almost put C, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
that's why this
That
one
was
was
a little
multiple
tricky.
choice. That's
Yeah,
why it was
that was
multiple
tricky.
choice.
It'll get more fun. It'll get more fun. Yeah.
I'm honestly surprising myself.
Someone said that.
Like, I'm kind of guessing, but I'm going to pretend I know all these.
Someone actually
Yeah.
said there was somebody else that said that, and I think they proceeded to do really well. I think it was Nick.
Carl.
I think Nick or Carl. Carl said that
Yeah.
too, but I think Nick also was like, "Yeah, no, I'm surprising myself here." And I'm like, "Nick, we're on question 4. We're super early on." All right, Josh, go ahead and keep the ball rolling. Hopefully into something a little bit more difficult.
Okay. Question number 5 is about the great Red Auerbach. What did Red Auerbach do when victory was assured in his games? What did Red Auerbach do when victory was assured? The multiple choice answers are A, take off his shoes, B, flip off the opposing coach, C, smoke a cigar, or D, remove his coat and tie. What did Red Auerbach do when victory was assured? Was it A, take off his shoes, B, flip off the opposing coach, C, smoke a cigar, or D, take off his coat and tie?
So, Josh, I'm going to say something that I noticed immediately, and I want people to hopefully laugh at this. So, we learn about our guests every time we have them on, something new.
Yeah.
So, we learned from Ryan that he really enjoyed college because he liked multiple choice and was able to guess C a lot, right? That was Ryan's thing, and it worked out. He got a couple points like that. I'm learning that Caleb was the kind of student to, if he knew the answer immediately, he didn't even want to hear the answer
I
choices.
think Caleb wrote the answer down prior to being given
did.
choices.
Yeah, so
I did.
we're learning about everybody.
Yeah.
Tyler's the more
I've heard this
methodical.
one.
Yeah, Tyler's also the one that sits there and is like, "Let me hear all of them. Let me make sure let me be on point here." It's like we're learning about you guys. This is good. This is
That
basically
one
a social experiment.
That one I just had to wait for the letter.
Oh, okay, that's good. All right. Well, without further ado, Josh, I think that means they're both locked in.
All right. Bouncing over to Tyler because it's back on him to give his answer first. Tyler.
C,
C,
smoke a cigar.
smoke a cigar. All right, Caleb.
Yep.
All right,
He
the correct
said
answer is C, smoke a cigar. They're both right again.
You're just laughing because you know we suck at this. Yeah, please tweet us your favorite photo of Red Auerbach smoking a cigar
We are
because
5
I'm gonna probably
questions
use
in.
it. So.
Caleb is officially tied with Grayson on our points list.
5 for
I'm
5.
sitting- I'm
Sorry, Grayson.
smoking that Grayson pack.
All right.
now into the second half where it gets harder.
We hope, Josh.
It
Okay,
does.
yeah, kind
I
of.
guarantee.
This is kind of okay. So this is kind of like the you're driving on a straight road that has no hill, and all of a sudden you're like, why am I going like really far down a hill just like this? So I hope this is the point for that.
One thing I do want to mention, I guarantee that Carl and Alex are listening to this podcast. Probably Alex, really upset that we have not yet given them a pre-World War II basketball question. Because I think we gave them 3 in the first 5 questions last week.
Yeah, it was pretty. Last week was a little tough. College basketball is a lot more interesting when it comes to tough stuff like that. So, all right, here we go with question number 6, and then after that we'll get a little break and see how they're feeling as well as a score update. The Celtics have won 17 NBA championships, tied with the Los Angeles Lakers in the league's 75-year history. One of those years is 1981. Name me the Finals MVP for 1981. Again, I'm just so glad that I was correct, or Josh was correct on this, that this is where it goes downhill quickly. I can see the thought processes. I can see the gears
And
turning a little
now
bit.
it gets harder.
The hesitation. I don't know if that was an eye roll from Tyler or if that
By
was
the
just
way,
a
there are
thinking
no
face.
more multiple choice questions in this quiz. Those are all gone.
You guys are the first ones to get them gone before question 5, so good luck with that. They're all free answer the rest of the time, so good luck and have fun. I did tell them before they should have a lot of fun with this, and I think they will. There is no time limit here, so just keep thinking, write it down, go through your processes.
Make
whatever.
sure you get some answer.
Yeah, any guess is better, because for the sake of comedy, any guess is better than no guess. Because if you write, if you write like Bill Walton, I'm gonna laugh because it's funny. Anything, anything's possible. You never know. You might write it down, think it's wrong, and it might be right. Spoiler, that has happened multiple times. So, I can recall at least 3 instances that happened. Josh, how are you feeling?
In my head, but I can't remember his name.
Oh, okay. This is good. Look, you guys feel free to talk out loud. It helps me not have to fill as much time in between questions.
Sure.
This is tough.
Don't obviously give anything to your opponent here, but it helps Josh and I not have to basically talk to each other for an hour, which is what we do anyway.
Yeah, this is more of a fun one. I did not get this question correct.
I could be completely out of the time range here. Timeline,
I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with it.
For those that might be new here, Josh and we bring as many questions to each other as possible prior to the show, and we put them together and compile what we think is the hardest and the order and all that stuff. And this was one of my questions, and I go, "All right, Josh, let me know who the 1981 Finals MVP is." And he goes, "I don't have any clue." So this is good.
Give me some my strengths are 2000s Antoine Walker era. Give me those. Give me those questions.
We'll see. Wait, you never know. We still got 6 more questions.
We got time. We got time.
I mean, hypothetically, we were all fans around that time. We're all around the same age here, guys. I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if I think we have a locked-in answer, I'm going to go with, I believe it's Caleb again. I think Caleb's going to be on all my questions. Is that right?
Yeah, I could be totally out of time right here, but I said Dave Cowens.
Okay. Dave Cowens?
Yeah, same with me. Timeline-wise, I just put DJ Dennis Johnson.
Dennis Johnson, timeline-wise, is closer. I think Cowens might have retired.
He was
around
70s.
Right after. Yeah,
late 70s.
Caleb, when Trevor asked me this question, I also said Dave Cowens.
Exactly. And great guess, but a name that a lot of non-Celtics fans may forget. It is a good guess and good pull. DJ, I will say, and I'm just kind of getting my way to it. DJ, I will say, is very close because he was on those teams. At least I know for a fact. And the answer is not DJ or Dave Cowens. The answer is DJ's teammate Cedric Maxwell. Cedric Maxwell, a name that may be normal to Celtics fans like you two who may know it. Josh is shaking his head, but
Cornbread.
Cornbread, great nickname, great player in the time. I'm not discrediting him by any means, but if you just homework for people, I haven't done homework in a few weeks, Josh. Months, actually. Go look at the Finals MVP list in all-time history and just look at it. See if any people stick out to you. And 81 kind of sticks out to me. It's not a name that you would in that era go, yeah, Cedric Maxwell, that's right. You would maybe think Larry Bird or somebody like that. But that is incorrect.
Who would you give it to this year? If the Celtics would have won, who would you guys give it to this year?
Jalen? I like this. This is good. Yeah, it's
Jalen,
probably.
Questions for you guys now.
Yeah. Do I get points? Is there a host question point counter right here?
Nope.
Probably Jalen.
Probably Jalen.
I would have given it Jalen Brown.
If Al Horford had an insane game 5 or 6, then maybe.
That would have been amazing.
But
that would have been amazing.
It would have been the most poetic thing ever. Would have been so funny.
Sure.
The other one to stick out to me would be Andre Iguodala, but that's beside the point. Josh, give us a score update, and then we'll ask them how they're feeling and just kind of see where we are halfway through the game.
So 6 questions in. We're sitting at Caleb with 5 points and Tyler with 4 points. Both of our contestants are doing very well.
Neck and neck. 30 seconds or less. Tyler, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm just a little bit worried about embarrassing myself with some of these write-down answers, but I just want to get within the right era, and I'm good. That's all I'm trying to do.
All right, and have fun.
Have fun, yeah.
All right, Caleb, how you feeling?
Pretty good up until that last one. I did some dude that was probably 40 at that point, but
so close.
so close.
Not embarrassing. Yeah. That was my thought as well.
Yeah. I knew it couldn't be like Larry Bird or something. I mean, you wouldn't do something that obvious.
Not at question 6. We would not have. No, that might have been question 1 if that was the correct answer. But yeah. Good point. All right, Josh, we are flying through this 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in. We are at question number 7. I have a feeling there will be some more thinking from here on out.
Okay. This one's a shout out to our contestants from last week because we are going pre-World War II era basketball with this question. So, Caleb's not happy. The Boston Celtics were founded in the year 1946. They were heavily inspired in naming their team by the professional basketball team known as the original Celtics. The original Celtics were well known for playing in the Eastern Basketball League, the Metropolitan Basketball League, and the American Basketball League from 1916 to 1930. What building did the original Celtics play basketball? In what building did the original Celtics play basketball?
Wait, did you give us a city? I don't remember.
Nope.
No, they were just known as the original Celtics.
Okay. Okay.
We have to know the name of the arena.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Josh, for clarifying arena, because my answer was not an arena. So this is
I said building.
building.
Was the best
Yeah,
way to go
or
for it.
building. Yeah, you
Building.
clarified that this is a building of some kind. My answer was not a building. My answer was
He did
somewhere
not give me a
outdoors.
building.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
The original Celtics, the main inspiration for the Boston Celtics name when they were founded in 1946. Also, main inspiration was the heavy amount of Irish immigrants into Boston at the time to name the team the Celtics.
That's right. To be fair, that was not supposed to help you. You both were listening
I'm
intently
just
as Josh
filling
was saying.
in. I'm just filling in.
I
time
love
here.
Josh. We've reached the point, like we do every week, where we get
The
to
original
this.
Celtics are also quite respected in basketball history. They were inducted as a franchise into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in 1959, which Trevor cracked the joke of, man, the Naismith Hall of Fame will just let anything in.
So are we allowed to know where they played, the original Celtics?
No.
Like, are they in Boston?
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you.
No, we're not. We can neither confirm nor deny that question.
Okay. I got a random guess then. I'm ready.
We've reached the point, Josh, where we are writing things that may be right or wrong, as well as you read facts to fill time, obviously, for the sake of listeners not listening to silence, and we watch them watch you listen.
Credit to you
read the
guys. You've
question.
found out that I am intentionally omitting the name of the city that the team played in.
Yes.
Good. All right.
Good catch.
Yeah, that makes
Caleb's
sense.
over here being the silent assassin because I think he was listening to Josh more than he was listening to the question. All right. Do we have an answer from either party here?
Yes.
Do you have something written down? Tyler's like,
Something's written down. You're gonna love it.
okay.
I love that. I don't care whether you're on YouTube or Apple. That was funny. He said yes. You can tell either way whether you're watching or listening. That was very unusual. The intention is supposed to be hard. So
Let's throw it over to Tyler. Tyler, what do you have as the answer? What building
I have
did they play in?
no idea if this building was even around back then, but I put MSG.
Okay. Caleb?
This was a sacrificial lamb. I 100% knew this was wrong. I put the Lucky Charms Center.
Oh god.
The Lucky
Caleb, you
Well,
just given me.
unfortunately, the Lucky
Do
Charms
I get
Center is
bonus
not
points for
correct.
that?
No.
But
No.
it was funny. So, from a competitive standpoint, this is now very interesting because the answer is Madison Square Garden. And Tyler got that correct. They were the New
Wow.
York original Celtics.
I shouldn't have blown that one off because I was actually going to guess that if I had to guess one.
Yeah, I just thought famous stadium. That's all I thought.
In the same region too, which is good.
Smart to
no,
deduce it did not have to be in Boston.
Josh, Caleb asked if he could get a bonus point for that. He should actually probably get a deduction because he probably just gave me 30 minutes worth of work tomorrow drawing a stadium of the Lucky Charms Arena that I'm going to put on YouTube right here. So I'm probably going to send him a bill, actually, for my time.
You gotta have Lucky like a rainbow going over the stadium.
Oh, God.
Him on the other side.
Well, no, he's just giving you the graphic for this week's episode. It's just you're going to Photoshop up the Lucky Charms Center and make that the graphic.
Yeah, no free ads, by the way. All right, so Josh, give us a score update. Just had
5 to
throw that in
5. 7 questions in.
there. All right.
We are tied. It is close.
I didn't think we'd be tied at 7. After the 7th question, I will be honest with you. I 100% did not think we would be tied. So, all right. Go ahead and roll into question number 8. We are going to give Bill Russell another small shout out. So shout out to Bill Russell again. Bill Russell was one of only 2 Celtics players in history, basketball history, to be inducted into the Fiba Hall of Fame. To be clear, not the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, the Fiba Hall of Fame. Who was the other player not named Bill Russell that's been inducted into the FIBA Hall of Fame as a Boston Celtic?
So the only other question we're looking for, the only other former Boston Celtics player to be inducted into the FIBA Hall of Fame.
Okay.
For those that are wondering what that is, you can look it up that are listening to this after the answer gets
For anyone
given.
that doesn't know what FIBA is, it is the international governing body for basketball.
Correct.
The same way that you'd probably be more familiar with FIFA for soccer.
But FIBA, yes, thank you. Without giving anything away, any thought process here, right? Like you talk it out. I don't want any answers to your opponent, but is there anything that like our listeners can be like who aren't watching this on YouTube? This is my final YouTube plug, hopefully. But if you're listening to this on an audio platform, what is something that you're thinking right now? Like talk us through it. Like what is the thought process that's not giving anything away? Just curious.
I don't know much about the FIBA. I really don't.
Trevor,
So I'm a little lost there.
Go ahead,
I just went good enough to have an award named after you.
Josh. Okay. All right. So this is
Okay.
good. This is good thinking.
I'm thinking that probably like us, they're probably shocked that only one other Celtic is in the FIBA Hall of Fame. That's how I felt.
Yeah, no, that's kind of throwing me off a little bit, to be honest with you.
It shocked me.
tough.
Josh brought this one to me, and I did not get it right. To be fair, I'm just being honest. Anytime I can say, hey, whether I got it without answering anything, if we can say whether we got it right or wrong, I feel like it may help. Nothing, but it would at least tell you guys where we are with the difficulty. So maybe.
Let's do it.
All right,
Let's
sounds
see
like
it.
Tyler's locked in. Caleb.
Yeah.
Locked in.
All right.
All right, Tyler, answer.
I went Havlicek.
John
Okay.
Havlicek. That's
Yep.
a good shout.
Yep, that was also my answer.
Caleb
Caleb.
Hammerbird. That's it.
I did Bob Cousy.
That's a
Bob
good guess
Cousy.
also.
Okay,
This is good.
both good shouts. Unfortunately, those are both incorrect.
Larry.
The answer is Shaquille O'Neal.
What?
He said, "What?"
What?
I just need the "what" meme to play right here.
Yes.
What? Yes.
So
Shaquille
the
O'Neal.
FIBA Hall of Fame, which I didn't quite realize when I heard this question, but it's a Hall of Fame based purely on international basketball success. So success in international basketball competitions. Hence the only two Boston Celtics former players.
barely-
As Shaquille O'Neal did spend a year as a Boston Celtic.
He did. He didn't play much, but I was actually at the game where he got hurt his last time. He was running down the court. Just,
You
done.
guys are mean.
Yeah, that was a
game.
tough one. I mean, I love Shaq, but I like Boston Celtics doesn't come to mind, even though it was his
Yeah.
last team.
Yeah, it's a first. Whether Josh
question.
realized it or not, this was kind of a cool memory for me because this was like really the peak of my watching as I was growing up. Was like I vividly remember that injury you're talking about. I would watch as many games as possible. And just remember the playoffs, those moments, and just he was quite the. It was just so awful to see him in a Celtics uniform just for the sake of like all his history with another franchise.
Yeah,
But it's just the lore around the fact that I just couldn't get my head. I kept thinking it was Jermaine. I'm like, there's Jermaine O'Neal. Oh wait, that's Shaq. Oh my god,
Yeah.
like, I couldn't get it out of my head for like the longest time, and he was out of shape, unfortunately.
number 36. I think he wore Marcus's number.
Yeah, he did, which is so weird to say out loud.
And if
Right.
you guys feel bad, Trevor gave a similarly difficult question in our first week of Trivia Showdown where he asked Grayson and Nick, who was the first player to have their number retired by the Miami Heat?
See if they can get this. I'm actually curious. I want to see if they can get
For
this
no
shot.
points.
No
Who
points.
was the first player that the Miami to have their number retired by the Miami Heat?
Alonzo Mourning. I don't know.
That was okay. Caleb,
Caleb?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Josh, you want to give him the answer?
The answer is Michael Jordan.
What? Yes.
Why?
What?
Pat Riley respected Michael Jordan immensely and decided that no Miami Heat player should be allowed to wear number 23. Hence why when LeBron James went there in his famous summer to South Beach, he had to switch his number to number 6.
Oh, I thought you just did that to change it up. Wow.
No, he was not allowed to wear
Wow.
23.
Wow.
No, insane, right?
Interesting.
That was
Speaking of that,
I found
speaking of
that.
that, I think I'm on board with retiring number 6 throughout the NBA. We should do that now that Wallace has passed away.
Oh,
Mm.
I honestly with the
Yeah.
finals MVP impact and what he's done for the finals and just being there and being present and having decisions, I actually kind of agree with that. That's insane to
Yeah.
think that might be a possibility. I think Adam Silver's the kind of guy to do that too, which is kind of interesting. He seems like the
I can see
player,
it.
so players commissioner. All right, Josh, give us a score update here. I think it's getting really
5
interesting.
to 5.
5-5 still.
So
All right.
We are maybe broken on the bonus round. I think they could get these last two correct. It's possible.
Yeah.
Before we get the bonus.
Maybe.
So I'm going to read the next question. I want to make it clear this question was written by Trevor. I do not take responsibility.
Yeah.
Make me the bad guy.
One of the most famous Boston Celtics arena is the famous Boston Garden. How many 5-foot square panels compose the parquet of the Boston Garden? Write down a number. If you are within 30, you will get a point. You'll get a bonus point if you get the exact correct number. So how many
you're
5-foot
math
square
now.
panels make up the parquet of the Boston
Yes.
Garden?
Do the math. That's what I told Josh would happen. Somebody was going to try to write in the math down. This is
I'm
great.
not even gonna
Please
try. I haven't done
validate
math. I haven't done math in years.
And I Can I at least use my phone calculator?
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, sure.
I'm
I
on my
promise
phone, so
I'll
Phone
keep it
calculator.
right here.
He said I'll hold it up.
yeah, I'm
That's
on my
fair.
phone, so I'm just gonna wing it. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm fine with being the bad guy for
How
this,
many
Josh.
5-foot square panels make up the parquet of the Boston Garden?
I just love.
If you're within 30 panels, you will get the question correct.
My favorite part about this, Josh, is I'm going to reiterate this because I didn't do it earlier. But the fun part about this is I wanted people just to learn something. I wanted them to have a great time and just enjoy themselves in every facet. The guests, the people listening, us, which I can speak for ourselves here. We've enjoyed this very severely.
Talk about Boston Celtics great Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's the way to uncork the weirdness in basketball. And I might have just come up with the slogan there. Okay, someone write that down. That was
Uncork the weirdness in basketball.
That might have been someone. Copyright that quickly, please.
I don't know if it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, a little bit, but no. I've severely enjoyed just the reactions to some of these questions. Again, shout out to Jimmer Range for quote tweeting one of the videos we posted of our World War II knowledge basketball was tested. They severely called us out for that, so that's good. Glad you guys were up to par on yours. Actually, did they get that question wrong? I don't remember.
What?
No, they did not. Oh no, yeah, Tyler got that one.
Tyler got it
too.
right.
Yeah, Tyler got that right. So we're good.
Madison
Yeah.
Square
Oh, I
Garden.
don't know what you're talking about. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, World War II era basketball. Or kind
Well,
of.
it was pre-World War II era.
Yeah,
Because
you
the
guys.
original Celtics finished playing in 1930.
Yeah,
It was
you guys
World
got it
War I
early.
era.
Early. All right. Do we have a number written down? If you're within 30, you will get a point, a bonus point if you get it correct. Yes.
You guys
we
both
got
have a
that?
number written?
Yep.
Looks like we are.
Yep.
Caleb. All
Okay.
right.
All right, Tyler, let's give us your answer.
But 120. I have no idea.
120.
Take a stab at it. That's
Caleb?
right.
Yeah.
I got a lot more than that.
I don't know.
I got 880.
Okay,
I
two different answers.
didn't even try to do the math. I just
So Tyler is closer. I'll go ahead and give that away. Caleb, you did not get within 30 panels. You were about 600 panels off. Tyler, unfortunately, you didn't get within 30. The correct answer is 264.
That's what I was thinking.
Fun fact
is
for y'all,
some-
264 panels make up the parquet.
which is how okay, so like what's the total? Is 260 times 5, basically?
264 times 5, yeah, would be the total square
Okay.
footage of the parquet.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. Great guesses. Unfortunately, we did not do the format of Price is Right, where if you were, near it but not over, which Tyler would have won that. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, you had to be close. So, and we thought 30 was pretty fair. I want to say
Yeah, it's fair.
we originally thought 15 at first, and I was like, that seems really mean.
Guys,
So-
don't be embarrassed. I think when Trevor first asked me the question, and I was thinking of like those thin wood panels, I guess, and maybe that's still it. I was thinking like thousands on thousands of them, so I would have been really far off. So I wouldn't have been remotely close.
All right,
That was,
Josh.
I was way off.
Yeah, that's okay. Josh, let's get a quick score update again.
5-5.
Just love whatever it's the same.
Stuck on 5.
All right. Well, you might get some points here. So, it's my question. All right. Number 10. The Celtics have had many great captains in franchise history, but they stopped at the conclusion of the 2014 season. Tyler, you said this was your era. Who was the final Celtics team captain? Shaking his head and writing it down immediately. Uh-oh. Caleb. This could be a
not only-
Post 2014, the Boston Celtics have not named a captain for their team.
This could be a potential swing question going into the finale.
Someone popped in my head, but that doesn't mean it's right. We'll see.
Hey, it has paid off for other guests before. So,
Yeah.
It has paid off. Sometimes, again, writing down an answer is better, whether you think it's right or not. If it could be right, you should write it down because you might surprise yourself. I'm trying to remember. There was distinctively a moment where somebody was like, "There's no way this is right," and they wrote it down. I think it was St. John's. It was the St. John's question last week.
Yeah, as Ryan was, I don't know why we gave like 2 New York college basketball answer questions. Because he really tried to embarrass him on the first one, and that made him go answer St. John's for the next one around. No, that was the weird one, guys. Like, how we didn't understand how well they did. We asked the question to our last group of guys, which school has won the most NIT championships? And they all got it right. All three of them got it correct.
I mean, we already said it, but yeah, it's St. John's.
It's St. John's.
Oh, okay.
Somehow all three of them answered St. John's correctly off that question.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, okay. One of them, cheating-wise, one of them can look out his window and see basically the university / the area that it's in. He lives in New Jersey. I can look across and see New York. So I thought it was funny to brace him for that and be like, "Hey, Ryan, really quick while Josh reads this answer, do you want to look out your window?" And he was like, "Oh no." So yeah. All right. Do we have an answer? Looks like Tyler wrote one a while ago. So Caleb, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Caleb, go ahead and read your answer choice.
So I know this was right after the trio left, and so I put Avery Bradley.
Okay. Tyler?
Avery Bradley.
I put Rondo. Rajon Rondo.
All right. So really quick, I also told Josh Avery Bradley because I thought it was kind of a trick question. I thought it was one of those things that was like, oh, the trio broke up, which Caleb did say. The fourth person from that, now not trio, but I guess quad, would have been Rajon Rondo, and the answer is Rajon Rondo. He stuck around for a little bit longer, and he did take the final captain selection before being killed off in 2014. So
it's interesting. The funny fact of it is actually the last time that Rondo was named captain was after he left, following the conclusion of the 2013-14 season, when he made his first return to Boston in December of 2014 as a member of an opposing team. He was named the honorary team captain by the Boston Celtics, and that was the last time they've named a captain. So the answer was still Rondo, but
either way,
just a fun,
that's cool.
Fun fact.
All right, Josh, final score update before we head into the bonus round.
So Tyler has made the comeback. He has pulled into a lead of 6-5, going to probably the tightest bonus round we've had in a while. 6-5, Tyler. Every correct answer in this bonus round is worth 1 point, so there's really no telling what way this is going to go.
Do it.
Are we ready for the question?
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
Both of you hold your pins up in the air, please. We're going to time you, and you're not allowed to start writing until we give the go-ahead. So the pins on the screen. Okay. The way this question will work, after I read the question, you will be given 60 seconds to write as many answers as you can. It's best to just get as many answers down as you can. You will not be penalized for incorrect answers. We're just looking for as many right answers as possible. There are 14 possible correct answers. So the final year the Boston Celtics had a team captain was in the 2013-2014 season when that captain was Rajon Rondo. That was also the worst Boston Celtics season in the 21st century to this point. Caleb, pencil up. They finished the season with a winning percentage of .305, so just 30% of their games did they win. Name as many other Celtics players from the 2013-2014 roster as you can in 60 seconds. Trevor, is time ready? Go.
Rondo doesn't count, right? Don't put down
Rondo doesn't count.
Go. No, Rondo does not count. I started it after Tyler said Rondo doesn't count, and we answered it. So I will give you a score update.
Trevor and I will fill time.
Seconds. Yeah. You write as many focus, write as many times as you can, or many things as you can. I'll give you an update at 30 and 45 seconds.
So it's funny is when we originally put this question together, we thought about like going for really the worst Celtics team, which was in 1997 that had a win percentage of about 18%. But we thought that question would be too difficult, and we wanted it to be more interesting if our guests could actually get some players down. Although I feel like Tyler probably would have gotten a lot of answers from 97 now thinking about it. But
what about the year before they had the Durant pick? That was 2006, right? They were pretty bad that year.
I think they were. Keep going with answers.
15 seconds. Okay. 15 seconds left.
Oh man!
As many as you can.
I was like, I wanted to give you a 30-second update, but I couldn't. Josh was in the middle of his point. 5 seconds left. Getting close here, and pencils down. God, I feel like a teacher. I feel like a teacher doing this. But yeah, no, that Durant, the year before they got the Durant pick, they were pretty bad. It was on the list. It was in that top range that we were looking at. We wanted to find a way to weasel in the Rondo thing and the 2013 together, and it worked out great. So, all right, Josh, I've officially stopped the timer. Like I said, I think we have. Go ahead and I forgot to do this last week. How many answers do you each have written down before we get started going through them? We'll go back and forth, and we'll just roll.
I have 3. I really didn't answer many at all.
Caleb?
I got 4.
Okay, so Josh, this
Okay.
is good. We're gonna know right now whether nobody will catch Carl. Let me just be completely Carl right now is safe with 19.
Theoretically,
Yeah.
they each could have gotten all 14 correct and passed Carl, but it
Yeah.
didn't happen
I
that way.
mean, I may or may not
It's
already
impressive.
have Carl's trophy in my cart over here, but never mind. All right, so it's still really fun to know where you're gonna finish all time. I'll make a little graphic at the end of the couple of weeks that we do this. So got a couple more.
So
Go ahead,
we
Josh.
will alternate. You'll give me a player. We'll check with the other player if they have it written down. But Tyler, give me the first player at the top of your list.
This is a really random one, but I got Jamir Nelson.
Jamir Nelson.
I don't know if he's on that team or not.
Jamir
Played
Nelson is
good.
incorrect.
Ugh, crap.
Caleb, did you write Jamir Nelson?
I did not.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me check. In 2013-14, Jamir Nelson. So 13-14, he was playing for the Orlando Magic and then Dallas Mavericks. He would move to the Boston Celtics the very next year in 14-15. So very close there, Tyler.
Yeah.
Hey, to be fair, Jamir Nelson has been guest once in this Trivia Showdown history. Sorry, Alex, I'm going to do this really quick. Alex guessed it for, I believe we were trying to do, it was name that player for college basketball. It was question 9, and it was name that player. We gave a bunch of stats and when this guy played in college, and it was Jimmer Fredette because, Jimmer Range podcast on the show. And Alex wrote Jamir Nelson, who at the time was almost 30 years old. So Jamir Nelson has been named twice in this show. I just think it's very funny that he has been named as an answer choice multiple times.
We'll pop over to Caleb. Caleb, let's give the first player off your list.
Gerald Wallace.
Gerald Wallace is correct. Gerald Wallace was on that 13-14 Celtics roster in the twilight of his career. Tyler, did you also have Gerald Wallace?
Yep, he was my second one.
All right. They each get a point.
Okay, Josh read them to me an hour ago, and I forgot Gerald Wallace was on that team.
Yeah.
From the Bobcats. I think he came from the Bobcats, but I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
Eventually, somewhere around. He was 32 years old at the time. It was his second to last season in the NBA.
Very forgotten player.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald Wallace was filthy when he was in his
First
pretty
All-Star
good,
in my franchise's history.
Right.
One of 3.
Fair credit where it's due. Gerald Wallace was really good. So. All right.
All
That's
right,
good.
back over to Tyler. So I guess you had 3, Tyler. So who's the last player that you have written down?
I don't know if I was early on this one. Avery Bradley.
Avery Bradley is also correct. He was on that team at the time. Caleb, did you also have Avery Bradley?
I also had Avery Bradley. That's correct.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So point to each. So the score currently stands at 8 points, Tyler, 7 points, Caleb. Caleb has 2 more answers written down. Tyler does not have any left at this point. So we're going to find out if Caleb wins if he has 2 more members of the Celtics roster in his last 2 answers. Caleb, give us the first of your last 2.
So one was just like a completely random name that I thought of from like the 2000s or whatever. Sasha Pavlovich.
Sasha Pavlovich. That is incorrect.
That is incorrect.
Josh, I'm looking up.
Trevor,
when he
can you
played.
look up?
Yeah,
Sasha
yeah, I am.
Pavlovich? Caleb, can you spell
least
Pavlovich for us?
I have no idea.
I found it. Serbian Montenegrin professional basketball player. Basketball Reference says that he changed his name. This is going to be really fun. He played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 NBA franchises. Wow, he was really close. He played on the 2012 roster.
2011, 2012, so 2 years off. Sasha Pavlovich.
Wow, career.
I think we should each get a point. He should get a point for that. I should get a point for Jamir Nelson.
Yeah, we were all by 1.
Okay,
year.
before we
with
hear
2 random players.
Caleb's last answer, Trevor, what do we do if Caleb's last one is correct?
What is the tie? Oh shoot, we don't have a tiebreaker. Oh no,
This is the tiebreaker theoretically.
Let's
Caleb,
pivot.
if this one is correct, we're going to have to come up with another question. But
let's
Caleb,
cross that
give us
bridge
the
when we get
last
there.
player on your list.
It's probably completely wrong. I said
no.
Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford.
So Jamal Crawford
Jordan
is incorrect.
It was Jordan Crawford. It was Jordan Crawford.
Jordan Crawford is also incorrect.
Yeah,
No,
he's
Neither player.
No, he was
Who
on that
was-
team. Jordan Crawford's
who
on the
was-
team. I'm looking at him.
Trevor, are you
Yeah,
looking
who-
at the 13-14
14?
Celtics
Yeah,
roster?
Jordan Crawford, number 27. He's halfway down the list, right above Vitor Luis Favarini. Yeah.
Don't have him on the roster I'm looking at.
13-14?
13, 14.
That's what I'm looking at. Jordan Crawford. Boston Celtics
Makes
13-14 roster and stats. Avery Bradley, Marshawn Brooks, Jordan Crawford, Victor.
Oh, yeah, no, there he is.
Who was the big guy, number 30? I can't remember his name.
30. Brandon Bass.
Bass. I was thinking
Brandon
Bradley
Bass.
Beal, obviously
I was thinking about that too.
BB. I could not. That was the one guy I was just like in my head. I couldn't get. Brandon Bass. That was it. Number 30. I remember everything.
For fun fact, there was 2 Canadians on that roster. Can anyone name either of the 2 Canadians? Again, this team was very bad, so just, no points, but just fun. Not yet. Both of them were just completely out.
No.
It was Kelly Olynyk and Joel Anthony. Anthony.
Kelly Olynyk, come on.
Yeah, I was really surprised no one got that one. No, it was Kelly
So the
Olynyk.
final
I should have thought of that.
score, Tyler 8 and Caleb 7. Man, we had a nail biter on this one. Trevor, you want to read out the full Celtics roster from that season?
Yeah, let's do it. Again, I already said a couple of them, but we're gonna go alphabetical order. Joel Anthony, Chris Babb, Brandon Bass, Jared Bayless, Vander Blue, Keith Bogans, Avery Bradley, Marshawn Brooks, Jordan Crawford, not Jamal Crawford, Vitor Luis Favarini, Jeff Green, Chris Humphreys, shout out Chris Humphreys, Chris Johnson, Courtney Lee, Kelly Olynyk, Phil Presley. Sorry, I always get his name wrong. Phil Pressey. It's Phil Pressey, not Presley. Ray John Rondo, Jared Sullinger, another one I'm really surprised that no one got. Jared Sullinger, who was honestly the best player on that team at one point. And one of the teams he was on, he was filthy. Very quick fell off. And then lastly, we've already mentioned Gerald Wallace.
That is one of the worst rosters I've ever heard of.
That's terrible.
There's a reason we use this one. Yeah. Coached by Brad Stevens, and executive at the time was Denny Ainge. So
I probably watched the least of the Celtics that year too, just because they were so.
Was this Stevens' first year? Did they bring him in with the roster?
It was. Yeah, it was his first year as well. It was also. They were 26th in points per game. They were 13th in opponents' points per game, so they weren't a bad defensive team. I mean, they were top 15%, which is
I never
kind of
with them in 2K.
Yeah, that year was
amazingly bad. They did not finish last in the Atlantic Division that season.
They did not.
Shout out Philadelphia in the mid 2010s.
Oh yeah, that stuff. They were preseason to win the championship. I love that Basketball Reference tracks all this. They were plus 10,000 to win the championship, so it would have been a long shot bet, but tough. All right, Josh, that was a lot of fun. Let's get a final score again one more time, just for the sake of anybody that didn't hear it before.
Yeah, the final score in this matchup, it's Tyler James 8, Caleb Watkins 7. Like a real hard-hitting battle.
Caleb beat Grayson. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And somewhere on the leaderboard,
Both
he'll finish.
competitors defeated Grayson. And we'll slot in there respectively at number 5 for Tyler and number 6 for Caleb on the leaderboard.
Again, that sounds don't make that feel like that sounds bad, guys. Like that's okay. The guy in first still has 19. Let me just reiterate that. There is a 7-point gap between first and second. This is that's what crazy. We're working with here, guys. Like this is not Carl again. Congrats on your win. But all right, really quick, Tyler. Plugs, everything, please. And then again, I will link them in below. We will link them on every social media when we post this, all that stuff. People know where to find you, but just on your way out, say what you need to say.
Sure, yeah. At Tyler James NBA, everything pretty much online. Every social media thing you can find. Celtics-social.com for some Celtics apparel. And at AllBallNet for whole basketball network if you want to find another team you like.
All right. Caleb, same thing.
At Caleb_Watkins 82. For Twitter, Instagram. I don't even know my own social media handles. At Caleb_Watt for Twitter, and that's pretty much all I use. So,
all right.
Yep.
We'll be live tweeting a lot of Celtics games. 2 hours behind this year, so good luck with that. Whenever we're all watching it at 8, you're watching it at dinner time. So
yeah, it's gonna be great when I'm watching games at 5:00. So
Caleb's in the car watching a game. All right,
Caleb, what's that Twitter content looking like these days? Is it entertaining?
What Twitter content?
Your
Twitter content.
What's on there?
Can you guess when your last tweet was?
That's very rare. It's
Tyler's
usually
like, 40
UNC
minutes ago.
basketball or something.
It is. You retweeted Armando Bacot on April 13th. That's the
Yeah,
last
Bacot.
What did he say exactly?
I think it's his video saying he's coming back.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, I think that's
Oh,
what
yeah. I might have shed a tear on that one. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. That was a lot of fun. Go ahead and close us out.
Well, that being said, this has been the Two Pointers Podcast doing a Bill Russell tribute show. I'm Josh.
I'm Trevor, and I'm very glad that we did this.
And we will see you soon.